Welcome to this playthrough between myself, El Condoro, and Nicholas Wolf. We'll be playing Orb Crown, and I'll be playing the adversaries. He will be playing the allies even. So now we'll get into the actual game itself and wait for it to load up. Now, of course, the settings have to be with the 3D units off, and I don't have quick animation on because I like to be able to see the damage that I do and the damage that I receive, and sometimes that gets hidden if you have the quick animation on. Alright, so let's get into it, looking at the map so you can get a bit of an idea from this where each of the countries are. The activity or the action is going to start in the north, in Ang Nord. It's called Angford there because it's actually one kingdom, but Ang Nord is a separate major to Angford in the game, and Ang Nord is going to be attacked by the Dread Worm. So we start off with this narration of the Emerald Imperium. The three artifacts that comprise the Emerald Imperium are coveted by the rulers of the world. The powers conferred upon the one who possesses all three are legendary. Two have fallen out of the annals of the world, but the location of the Scepter of Might is known. Since its refashioned form was bestowed upon the ruler of Angford, as a gift from the Heimdall dwarfs, it has been the symbol of Angford's power, known as the Mithril Scepter, kept in Huntington and taken to Watersbend occasionally. Today is one of those occasions when the city's defenders will be distracted by its presence. With its dragons sculpted in mithril, the scepter is the symbol of power that Draka, the Dreadworm, desires to possess above all others. To that end, he has secretly raised a mercenary army to unleash against the walls of Watersbend. And that is the beginning, as we'll see in a moment, of the War of the Mithril Scepter. So the army of Draka, the Dreadworm, has swarmed across the Desran Valley, heading east towards Watersbend, the capital of Ang Nord. Leading them, mounted astride the ancient worm, is Hrothvos Dragon's son, who claims the throne of Ang Nord as his own. The army of Prince Amund, the current ruler of Ang Nord, has been caught unawares, its defences unprepared and its warriors complacent. The fiery breath of the Dreadworm and the blood-curdling yells of Hrothvos's warriors will soon awaken them from their reverie. It's about to hit the fan. There is some information on the next screen that I won't read. I think I've gone through that in another video. So let's just get into the action. And Draka and his mercenary army will be about to attack Ang Nord. These are the symbols of the 5 adversary countries. Okay, so I'm just going to do a fairly standard attack on Crow's Hold, a fortified position which can hold out for a couple of turns, but I'll be making sure that it doesn't with my attack here. The Dreadworm himself fires breath upon the walls of that castle. Well, it's a keep more than a castle, and he's able to completely cow the defenders, but there's nobody able to actually get into the fort this turn. That will happen next turn. Those Viking raiders have come down from Nortdelm, and they have joined Draka. I'm force marching, getting some guys up there as quickly as possible to launch the attack on Watersbend itself before the Angnordians can actually get their act together. I'll move the engineers across to start building some fortifications, because at some point those elves of Beagwell Forest will rise up against us. They're not too happy about having a dragon on their doorstep, and they will coordinate their attack with Ang Nord to attack us from the south eventually. So I want to have some fortifications ready. Alright, so now we're going to move some of these other units. That garrison of militia there in Hawk's Eyrie will not last very long. Well, they've held out better than they normally do, so I'll need an extra unit to finish them off. That just means that the militia in Nazma will get another turn before they too are defeated. And I will attack Xander's Keep with the long-range flying creatures. They might be eagles, they might be rocks. They're the equivalent of the strategic bombers in war in Europe. And I'm going to move up this garrison, ready to take over the towns once they've been taken by Draka's mercenary army. Now we head over to Guatenheim, which is like the parent country of Draka. It is the decision that I need to make is whether to actually build that tunnel through to Guildford, or whether to defend, or at least to attack into the east. Now I'm going to actually build that tunnel, and we'll see how we go. So I'll move my units, my giants and my death cult, up to the north. That tunnel won't be open for a while, but I'll have them there ready to go. Move down these goblins to look after Guarton Peak while I'm away, the tourist destination with its volcanic ash and toxic fumes that everyone wants to be seen at. So that's enough for Guatenheim. And now I'll have a look at the Vikings of Mittelheim. I'm not going to do much with them. I'll move the unit from the east by the time they get across to where Courland is, and the capital will be ready to mobilize and attack. I'm going to put some research money into weapons, 200 gold pieces for that, and that finishes off those gold pieces. With Andania, I am not going to spend any money this turn. I want to buy another elite unit, and so I'm going to save my coin and hopefully next turn be able to afford an elite unit. Potentia, all I'm going to do here is move the Empress and her elite bodyguard ready for when eventually, I will assume, because I don't know at this stage whether the Allies player will accept it, but the slaves and the gladiators of Libeslavia will activate, I assume. If they don't, well, I'll send my units elsewhere. Attacking into the ancient lands now with the Golden Khanate forces. My goal is to get to take this area here and not go too far into their territory, because I'm a little bit concerned that back up in the north, the minor countries of Chinua and Sanai will actually threaten my flank. So I've got to be careful about how far I go at this stage. Once that threat is dealt with, I'll certainly be back ready to take on the ancients. So I'll finish off the turn at this point, after I have a look at the diplomacy. Now, for some reason, the country names are wrong. This happens from time to time, and I still haven't actually been able to isolate why. So I won't actually do the diplomacy until next time, when hopefully the country names will be correct. Now I'll end the turn. And the Viking Raiders have forgotten to bring their packed lunch, so they suffer attrition. And I'm going to say yes to trying to get Imrith on side. Now, she's a mighty dragon, great to have on your side, but of course there's only a 25% chance that that will happen. Is the 200 gold pieces spent worth it? Well, in this case I'm going to say yes and see how it goes. Like I said, I do want to build the tunnel through to Guildford, so I'll say yes to that on this particular occasion. If my strategy was different, then I would say no. Princess Cristalis has joined her brother to help defend Angnord. The two of them will now try to fend off me, Draka, and my mercenaries, but I should be able to take Waterspend next turn or the turn after. We've spent a bit of money on different options, and so we don't have a lot of coin there. All right, so thank you for watching this video. This is turn 1, and I'll continue to upload them as we go.